mode. Health Ministry says growth rate of corona infections in India as compared to developed nations is low. Appeals to people to keep cooperating in the fight against the deadly virus. The number of active COVID-19 cases in India reaches 1,117. 101 persons have been cured and discharged. 32 deaths have been reported from the deadly virus across the country. The centre and Delhi government say the migrant population issue now completely under control. In big relief to farmers, government extends crop loan repayment till the 31st of May this year, keeping in view hardships faced by farmers during the ongoing lockdown. Now farmers can repay crop loans up to the extended period at an annual interest of 4% without attracting any penalty. ICMR approves the first indigenously developed COVID-19 virus test kit. The test to cost 1,200 rupees as against the present cost of 4,500 rupees per test. DRDO says it has devised indigenous equipment including multiple-use ventilators and isolation tubes to fight COVID-19 pandemic. Positive news from World Health Organization as no new countries, territories, areas report cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. The total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases nears the 7 lakh mark, with over 33,000 deaths reported world over. Namaskar and welcome to the news. I'm Mark Lynn. Here's our top story. Well, the number of active COVID-19 cases in India has reached 1,117, while 101 persons have been cured and discharged. 32 deaths have been reported from the deadly virus across the country. Maharashtra and Kerala have the maximum number of active COVID-19 cases. Meanwhile, the Indian Council of Medical Research is amplifying the coronavirus test sites and more laboratories are being opened across the country. It has approved the first indigenously developed COVID-19 virus test kit. The test will cost 1,200 rupees as against the present cost of 4,500 rupees per test. It also said that 38,442 tests have been conducted till now, out of which 3,501 were done on Sunday. 47 private laboratories have been given approval for conducting COVID-19 tests, and in the last 3 days, 1,334 tests have been done in private labs. A high-level meeting of the group of ministers on COVID-19 was chaired by the Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan in New Delhi. Minister of Civil Aviation Hardeep Singh Puri, Minister of External Affairs Dr. S. Jaishankar, Minister of State for Home Affairs Nityanand Rai, Minister of State for Shipping Mansukh Mandavia, besides other ministers and officials were present at this meeting. The group of ministers reviewed the current status, actions and preparedness of states and union territories for management of COVID-19. The government is laying emphasis on social distancing and staying at home as a tool to combat the outbreak of COVID-19. Now, the centre has reiterated that the COVID-19 epidemic in India is still in local transmission mode, refuting reports that it has reached limited community transmission. The Health Ministry yesterday said that it took 12 days for cases of infection to rise from 100 to 1,000 and that the rate of increase has been slower than some of the developed countries. The Health Ministry officials attributed the slow pace of rise in cases in India to people's participation in strictly following the social distancing guidelines and the collective preemptive actions which have been taken by the centre in tandem with the state governments. They added that instead of panic, there is a need for creating awareness about COVID-19.
We have to come out of the semantics, and we have used the word in a very limited context in a way to highlight what we are going to do action at field. Nowhere we are saying there is community transmission. It is only local transmission in this country. Let me repeat it. And we will be the first one to get back to you to explain that yes, there is community transmission in the country if need be. Because if it is going to be there, we will come back to you, and through you would like to inform community to increase our level of alertness and management at the field level.
Underlying the importance of social distancing, the government said that even one person's carelessness can lead to the spread of this pandemic.
कोई भी एक व्यक्ति लापरवाही करता है तो अब तक का जो हमने रिजल्ट पाए हैं, अब तक जो हमारी रिलेटिवली पॉजिटिव स्टेज है, हम फिर से जीरो स्टेज पे आ सकते हैं, हम फिर से फेल हो सकते हैं। तो इसलिए मैं आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि हम लोग हर तरीके से 100% अलर्ट रहें, 100% एफर्ट रखें कि जो गाइडलाइंस, जो डायरेक्शंस और जो डूज एंड डोंट्स सरकार की तरफ से पब्लिक में हम सबको बता रहे हैं, कृपया करके उन गाइडलाइंस का 100% अमल हो। हम इसमें 99% भी अमल जो है वो हमारे एफर्ट्स को फिर से हमें बेकार कर देगा। इसके लिए आप सबका सहयोग हमारे लिए बहुत जरूरी है।
The centre has stressed that the priority of the government at the moment is to augment the infrastructure to fight the epidemic in all its proportions. The Home Ministry officials have said that the centre is working in close tandem with the state officials to ensure that the lockdown is strictly enforced in all corners of the nation. And the Director General of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Dr. Shekhar C. Mande, has said that work is being done on monitoring of the virus, finding new ways of diagnosis, drugs, vaccines, hospitals, equipments and supply chain models. He added that many big industries are working along with CSIR to mitigate the coronavirus.
हम लोगों ने 5 स्तंभ चुने हुए हैं जिसके ऊपर CSIR में काम हो रहा है। पहला स्तंभ ये है कि मॉनिटरिंग और एपिडेमियोलॉजी देखना मॉलिक्यूलर इसके वजह से। दूसरा स्तंभ ये है हमारा कि डायग्नोसिस के नए तरीके खोज करें। आपने सुना होगा हमारे लैब दिल्ली में जो है IGIB, उन्होंने एक नया पेपर बेस्ड डायग्नोसिस तैयार किया है कि पेपर को अगर एक सॉल्यूशन में डुबाओ तो पता चलता है कि आपको कोरोना हुआ है नहीं हुआ है। यह बहुत एक्साइटिंग खबर है हमारे लिए और इसके लिए हम लोग फाइनल स्टेजेस में कि इसका टेस्ट वगैरह करके तो इसको हम फील्ड में ले आ पाएंगे, वो वाला। तीसरा स्तंभ हमारा जो है वो ड्रग्स, वैक्सीन्स वगैरह पर है। चौथा स्तंभ हमारा जो है वो हॉस्पिटल इक्विपमेंट्स पे है और पांचवा स्तंभ है कि सप्लाई चेन मॉडल्स बना। हम लोगों ने 20-25 जो मेजर इंडस्ट्रीज़ है हमारे देश में, सब बड़ी बड़ी इंडस्ट्रीज़ हमारे साथ एकजुट कर काम कर रही है और उनके साथ हम देख रहे हैं कि पाँचों स्तंभ पे किस तरह से काम करें ताकि कोरोना मिटिगेशन में उसका हमें लाभ हो।
Now, the Supreme Court has asked the centre to set up a committee of experts and also a portal for information on coronavirus within 24 hours. Hearing PILs seeking immediate relief to migrants, the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta told the Apex Court that the government is considering providing counselling to address the panic. He added that over 22,88,000 people are being provided food, and these include needy people, migrants and daily wagers. He also said that they have been kept in shelters. The Supreme Court will hear the matter next on Tuesday. Now, Vikas Sarthi is joining us with an update on this. Well, Vikas, so a committee of experts has to be set up within 24 hours and also a portal for information on coronavirus. But there is already a portal. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare runs a portal daily with all the do's and don'ts. It's also got links to, the WHO site. There's plenty of information already available online.
Well, Mark, the objective of this portal is that there are some new queries are also coming from the general public, and in fact, during the course of hearing, Solicitor General pointed out that they can deal everything except the fake news. There needs to be, they need a mechanism to stop fake news, and that was also pointed out by the Chief Justice of India yesterday also, that the panic and the fear are more serious issues, in fact, and they are more damaging than the virus itself. So to keep these fake news checked, they need more communication with the general public, and that is the objective. And Centre has also agreed that within 24 hours they will set up a committee, an expert committee to address those issues. Apart from it, Solicitor General clearly pointed out that no migration will be allowed, and at this point in time there is no migrant on the road. All of them have been shifted to various shelters. Earlier, we saw thousands of migrants were moving to the rural sites, but Solicitor General pointed out that they cannot be allowed to enter in rural areas. So far, rural areas are remain unaffected by this virus, but these migrants will have to remain in those shelters, and all necessary things will be provided to them. Apart from it, Chief Justice also said that that government must ensure some kind of counseling from the religious leaders as well. These religious leaders can meet those people who are living in shelter, so they can be they can be explained that this crisis will be over, and they will also be helpful in avoiding panic and fear. So these steps should be taken by the government. Supreme Court has not passed any formal order because Court was satisfied with these steps which have already been taken place. But again, to monitor the situation, Court will hear this matter on next Tuesday.
So the court is going to hear the matter next Tuesday, but it's also asked for the setting up of that committee of experts which you did mention. What are the terms of reference? What is this committee of experts supposed to do?
Well, that expert committee will address general queries from the public. So if anyone wants to know something more, though there have been already so much information in the domain, but the problem is that, like what we have seen, that some new messages come into the social media groups that corona can be cured with something, and these measures can be adopted to avoid corona. These messages are coming in number of thousands in different social groups. So if anybody wants to know about particular information related to particular issue, this expert committee will come with the correct information, and the committee will consist of medical experts from the AIMS as well. So the objective is to keep people informed and to keep them away from the fake news.
Right. So the expert committee basically will be deciding, will be telling people, keeping them aware about, the facts versus the myths which are being discussed in society. Thanks very much, Vikas, for joining us on the phone line with that. Let's now move on to our correspondent, Shama Mishra, who is joining us with more from Mumbai. Well, Shama, what's the state of the lockdown over there?
Well, in Mumbai and in the entire of Maharashtra state, we are seeing that a serious implementation of lockdown by the police personnel and by other staff is being done. But at the same time, it is very important to see and to cater to the needs of all the needy migrants, poor beggars who are not able to afford the food. And for the same reason, a kitchen over here, it was a marriage hall earlier, this particular hall, but now it has turned into a kitchen where people from the social organizations, NGOs are coming forward, and they are packing the food packets for the needy and the poor. Also, these people would be, you can see the pulao and khichdi. This is simple food. But at that particular time when there is hunger, you know the importance of food. And particularly, entire of Maharashtra state is observing a similar kind of activity. We would like to ask this person, sir, आप बताइए कितना आप पैकेट्स बना रहे हैं, कितना आप लोग कहाँ पे दे रहे हैं?
6 दिनों से हम लोग हमारे दक्षिण मध्य जिला के 6 विधानसभा है, इसमें लगभग 2000 रुपए को ये फूड पैकेट जा रहे हैं। पुलाव, जितने पुलाव और खिचड़ी हम लोग बना रहे हैं, और शाम के वक्त जैसे कि हमें पता है पूरा प्रशासन काम कर रहा है, और चतुर्थ श्रेणी के जो कामगार है बीएमसी के, उनको खाने की और नाश्ते की दिक्कत होती है, तो हम लोग शाम को भी उनको नाश्ते की व्यवस्था करते हैं। पुलिस कर्मचारी जो हमारे 24 घंटा काम कर रहे हैं, उनके लिए भी हम लोग ये नाश्ते की व्यवस्था कर रहे हैं। आपको जानकर देना चाहूंगा कि जीएसबी मंडल जो वड़ाला गणपति मंडल है, उनके लोगों ने इनका जो ये जीएसबी हॉल है, उनका किचन हमें दिया हुआ है, और उसकी वजह से हम लोग यहाँ पर ये किचन चला रहे हैं।
Okay, so Mark, I hope you've heard that these people are running in this particular GSP Seva Mandal, the famous Ganpati from Mumbai, the 5-day Ganpati from Mumbai. They have lent this particular hall for these kitchen services, and around 6 Vidhan Sabha areas, and among that a number of constituencies, the areas are covered, and the beggars, the needy are then asked, to come forward and to take these packets. Also in the evening,
So
they cater to
how is the packets distributed, Shama? Because that may lead to a problem with social distancing. So I mean, yes.
Well, if I'd like to show you that these people who are packing the packets, they all have gloves, and they are wearing it, they're doing it in a very
That's the hygiene aspect,
manner.
yes, but we are worried about the social distancing aspect when people come for the food. Do they maintain a certain distance?
When they come for the food, they have been instructed that they have to be in a queue, and in many parts, they have drawn circles with chalks or with other powders, where the people have to be in queue, not to gather, not to crowd, and then they are given out these packets. Also, they've been told, these people also provide medicines to the senior citizens who are not able to take that. With the packets, they are also providing, necessary requirements such as sanitizers. And when they give out these packets, they make sure that they guide these people. They tell these people that before eating or, after going to their homes or to their shelters, do wash your hands before eating and do not touch your face, do not, touch people. So that is a great message also coming out from them, and also a task that they are carrying out, not just making the people eat, not just providing them with food, but also providing them with guidance. Mark.
Now, you did mention also about medicines, Shama. What kind of medicines are they giving? Something to boost immunity, or what? I mean, vitamins?
No, not something to boost immunity. They have been continuously asking people if there is no urgent needs, if there are no emergencies, please don't come out of your houses.
Okay.
And since Prime Minister has time and again told that senior citizens should not be coming out of their house, so they have appealed to the senior citizens that if they are not getting their medicines, if they don't have any young people at their homes who can provide them with medicines, those people can contact these people, these institutions, and then they can take the prescription and then go buy the necessary medicines and then drop it at the person's house. So likewise, all the necessary medicines they are providing, not something to boost immunity.
Thanks very much, Shama, for that input. Wonderful service there being rendered to people in Mumbai by certain social work organizations. Moving on then to our next story, the central and the state governments. This is in Delhi we are talking about. So they have come up with a novel idea to convert several government schools into shelter homes to accommodate migrant workers and to stop their exodus in the face of the nationwide lockdown. To stem the spread of coronavirus. Thousands of migrant workers and daily wage workers have been stranded in Ghazipur, which lies on the border of Delhi and Uttar Pradesh. Now, as the coronavirus lockdown has left many without jobs or money to buy food, to pay the rent, thousands of migrant workers have been walking back home in a bid to tide over the harsh times. Our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya spoke to the estate manager Shiv Shankar Tiwari of the Sarvodaya Kanya Vidyalaya in Delhi's Ghazipur to take stock of the situation there.
Lockdown is in full force in Delhi, and we are right now in East Delhi, where one of the schools, one of the government school, has been turned into a Ran Besara, where people have been provided not just shelter but also food for the 3 times as well as for whenever they require. This is a school which is providing relief material as well as food. So please provide us the details of how many people are right now staying here. How much food are you providing them?
We are providing them night shelters and foods. Everything in breakfast, lunch and dinner, and sanitation items, and toilet facility is available.
So toilet facilities, sanitation as well as the food. Now, how many people right now are staying here?
Approximately 250 persons is stay here and give us target approx.
So
we are ready for handling.
So as of now, you could say that this school has a potential to have 2,000 or more than 2,000 people who can be accommodated here. Right now, 250 people are currently staying here, and they have been provided with food and other amenities. And this is one of the most important aspect of this lockdown. These people, the school is one of the many schools which have come out with the intention of helping those in need. And this is just the beginning, and this is an important aspect of this fight against this coronavirus. This is Tapas Bhattacharya, Doordarshan News, Delhi.
Moving on then, amidst the lockdown in across the country, well, due to the outbreak of coronavirus, the world's largest paramilitary force, the CRPF, is also reaching out to needy people in Srinagar, distributing food, milk and other essential items. The CRPF, along with the local police, distributed food and other items at Kaksarai, which is over there among the needy persons who were in need of these essential items, as we can see in these pictures. Now, in the wake of the lockdown due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the government has extended the benefit of 2% interest subvention to banks and 3% prompt repayment incentive to all farmers up to the 31st of May 2020. This would be applicable for all crop loans up to 3 lakh rupees given by banks which have become due or are becoming due between the 1st of March 2020 and the 31st of May 2020. Now, due to the restrictions imposed on the movement of people, many farmers are not able to travel to bank branches for the payment of their short-term crop loans dues. And moreover, due to restrictions on the movement of people and the difficulty in timely sale and receipt of payments for their produce, the farmers may be facing difficulties in repayment of their short-term crop loans, which fall due during this period. In a big development, the centre has decided to extend the validity of the fitness certificate permits, driving license as well as registration and other documents pertaining to vehicles until the 30th of June. This applies to those documents, the validity of which has expired since February 1. And the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has taken this decision as the citizens have been facing some difficulties in the renewal of the validity of such documents because of the ongoing nationwide lockdown, which is imposed, of course, to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, as per the centre's advisory, the fact that the Ministry of Home Affairs specifically allowed the transport of essential goods and items was a crucial factor behind the latest decision. All states and union territories have been advised to follow this directive of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. This would ensure that the transporters rendering essential services are not harassed. To cater to the requirement of oxygen supply for multiple patients during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, personnel from the Naval Dockyard at Visakhapatnam have designed an innovative portable multi-feed oxygen manifold using a 6-way radial header fitted to a single cylinder. The innovation would enable one oxygen bottle to supply 6 patients concurrently, thus enabling critical care management to a large number of COVID patients with the existing limited resources. The entire setup was made operational by the manufacture of a fine adjustment reducer and specific adapters of requisite dimensions for connecting the oxygen cylinder and the portable MOM. Now, you may be more susceptible than others to COVID-19 if you have a non-communicable disease or a pre-existing health condition such as high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, heart attack or stroke, chronic respiratory disease and cancer. This is important information that you should keep in mind. Now, police personnel in many parts of the country are doing everything to make people aware about the importance of staying inside their homes during the novel coronavirus outbreak. From making announcements to singing songs, they are giving everything a try to raise awareness among the people. Locals also participate, standing in the respective balconies of their homes and singing along with the police officers. The police have been singing evergreen Bollywood songs, with using their own words also along with the lyrics of the song. Another example was set up by the Gujarat police, who motivated the locals in Bhuj city by playing the popular tune of Hum Honge Kamayab and Sare Jahan Se Acha. But by playing the band, also the police encouraged the people to ensure the lockdown while maintaining social distancing. And before we end this bulletin, here's an important bit of information. All cable operators must compulsorily show DD channels by law. And in case your cable operator is not showing all the DD channels, please report to ddpb.inform@gmail.com. And with that, we conclude this bulletin. Thanks for being with us. Namaskar.